Hi everyone, it's Michelle from Scrap Secrets and welcome to another video. So this is going to be part haul and part crafty retreat, virtual retreat that is. And I'll talk a little bit about that once we get to that part, but let's start with the haul part first. I bought from a new to me craft company called Colorado Craft Company. I first found out about them from Simon Says Stamp during the 2019 Stamptember stamp sets that were released. They released one of their lovely legs stamp sets, and it was I think it was 3 sets of dancer legs, and they were absolutely adorable. So I didn't really think much about it until I saw an Instagram post from Jennifer McGuire. There was a sale at Colorado Craft Company, as well as she had a discount code for some of the proceeds to go to Feeding America. So I thought, new stamps for me, doing some good for Feeding America. Let's do it. So let me show you guys what I got. I got 2 different lines. So they have different lines in it. The first one that we're going to see is more of those lovely legs. So you can kind of get an idea of the stamp set if you haven't seen it, the one that I'm talking about for the one that they did with Simon. So this first one is called Mothers and Daughters. And I was hoping this would have gotten here for this weekend because I did some craft projects with the twins for their mom for Mother's Day. But this is super cute. I'm going to do it for my mom. So look at the mother and the daughter wearing the heels. Just so cute. My niece Nora did that the other day. She put her mom's shoes on. So I think I might do that for her. Maybe make a card like that and then she can color it in. The next 2, again, are more lovely leg sets, but these are for dads. So this one is called Terrific Dad. And I love this one. Both of my brothers, my brother and my brother-in-law, are avid golfers, as well as my dad. So I thought this one would be a great one to use for Father's Day or my dad's birthday. Father's Day is June, right? June? Yes, June. And then my dad's birthday is August. So they're both coming up soon. And then this next one is called Daddy's Little Girl. And look at these little legs dancing on her daddy's feet. When we were down in the Bahamas for my birthday this year, Madeline was dancing with Andy. And this just reminded me of that. Super cute. Super cute. The next set of stamps I got are from their Big and Bold line. So these images are huge. They will take up a card front. Now, some of them, I think you might have to do a 5x7. I don't know if they can fit on a 4 1/4 by 5.5 card, but I'm going to do the research on that. So the first one is called Birthday Cake, and look at that huge slice of cake. Absolutely adorable. And then I like on the back, they give you the colored image so you can see what's what, like, so you can kind of see where the cake should be and then the filling or whatever. You can do whatever you want, but I like seeing it on here so that you kind of know what is what. Next one is the Sweetest Birthday Cone. Look at this. I can barely even get it in the screen. Amazing. That ice cream cone is just, that would be so fantastic on the front of a card. So then here is the coloring for it. And I love that they put a lot of the shading marks in it. So I'll show you an image later and show you why it's important to have shading marks. And then this next one is called Sweet Friend Cupcake. Oh, so adorable. I keep saying that about everything, but I really like these stamp sets. And then there's the cupcake on the back. I like how they did a polka dot wrapper because it's just a plain wrapper on the front. They did polka dots. And then this last one, I saw a Giannis Makula video, and this is one of the reasons that I thought about Colorado Craft Company, and I thought about ordering, and then I just never pulled the trigger because I've spent so much money elsewhere, but I wanted to give these Big and Bold ones a shot because I do like the lovely legs ones. So this one is called Love's Kiss, and she did this awesome video with embossing powder to make the lips shiny and look like lip gloss. So cool. So that's it, and they have some nice sentiments on there. So that's Love's Kiss. So that's everything that I bought from Colorado Craft Company. Spent about $100, so that wasn't too bad overall for all of those, because those stamp sets, the Big and Bold ones, are really, really huge. Okay, so now let's get into the crafty retreat. So unfortunately, we were supposed to be at a crafty retreat this past weekend. Friday night, Saturday, all day Saturday, and Sunday. And obviously that did not happen because we cannot be in person. And somebody had suggested earlier in the week that we do a virtual one. Amazing idea. So we did a meet and greet Friday. Saturday there were 2 classes, and Sunday there were 3 classes. And class 2 and 3 on Sunday kind of went together, and I'll show you why. So the first class that we did was called an old technique and a new technique. So this was a lot of fun, and I will show you guys what I did. So this is, you probably saw this card on Instagram if you follow me on Instagram. So this is the little note card here, and then it opens up like this and says life happens, coffee helps. So the old techniques, I created my own pattern paper. So all of this is made using Distress Oxide, which is new, but using this. I used to use stencils and stamps all the time in the very beginning to make my own pattern paper when I didn't hoard it. And now if you go through my stuff, I have tons and tons of pattern paper. But in the beginning, I didn't have that much, so I like to make my own pattern paper. So that was the old technique number 1. Technique number 2, the old one, is using die cuts. So old school die cuts, I used this die cut set from MFT, and this one is called Coffee Cup. I can't find the stamp set that goes with it, the Perk Up, but it's got to be somewhere in here. So that was an old one. I used the crimper. If anybody has been stamping on scrapbooking and stuff for a long time, you probably have a crimper. It is right back there. The thing that's at the very top, the blue and orange one. I thought about getting rid of it, but then I loved it for doing the cardboard, like the holder. I don't drink coffees, but they, like when you go to the big coffee place and they give you the little like sleeves, that's what it is. I also used punches. If you guys remember the punches, you can see them. A lot of them are back there. I have all these punches and then single ones. So this one has, like, those are Martha Stewart, all of those ones back there. And then I have my other ones that are the Fiskars ones, I think. And those are in the closet in shoe organizers, like over the door shoe racks. So that was another old technique. I think the last old technique, and I added some here because I accidentally got a smudge up here. So I kind of put the hearts up there. And because there's a red heart here, there's a red heart here, and now there's a red heart. So there's a red heart on each and every level of the card. The other old technique, and we talked about this in the beginning of the retreat, because we talked about like ink blending was kind of a new technique. However, using vintage photo on the corners of everything was like the thing to do when I started crafting and card making. So I did it here, and I also did it on the inside here. If I would have thought about it before I glued the paper down that I made, I would have done the same thing and gone around the edges and done that for my pattern paper, but I did not. Okay, so let's talk about the new techniques. The fun fold card itself is a new technique to me, and I know it might not be new to everyone, but it is a new technique to me. So you have that. Copic coloring is relatively new. I know that people used to use the Copics for illustrations, but recently it's gotten more popular for card making. So you have the fun fold, you have that, you have the Distress Oxide that I used on the back, and using stencils with Distress Oxide. So that was the new and old techniques. So that was the first class, and that was so much fun. Now, I made that card in an hour. The only thing that I had done before the hour was cutting out the card base. I believe everything else I did. I think I even did the cutting the card panels, or I might have cut out all the card panels before. So I did like the cutting, but the die cutting, the stenciling, the Copic coloring, the stamping, that was all done within an hour. So I'm traditionally a very slow card maker, but I did this one in an hour. So super impressed with myself. So that was class number 1. Class number 2 was a sketch challenge. So we all got the same sketch and we were to create cards. I created 2 because I felt like my first one was a little involved, but I still had some time left over and I wanted to see if I could get a second card done. I don't love either one of these, but again, when you're creating things like in a row, and these classes, there was a decent amount of time in between them, but when you're trying to come up with something on the spot, it's very hard. Try it. Give yourself an hour. Find a sketch. Give yourself an hour and see what you come up with. See how many cards you can do. It's a lot harder than you think. Okay, so this is a little, this is not the literal interpretation of the sketch. I'll show you the literal interpretation that I did. But this is a honeybee die. This is from the A7 set, the frame set. It's all stuck together and it's one huge die, and then it cuts out these little frames here, and it goes up to framing out an A2 size or an A7 size card, which is a 5x7, and then it goes down, I believe, 1/4 of an inch from there. So there are a ton of dies in this. You run it through and get one pass and get all of these different frames. I used a little bit of flimsy paper so you can see the edges are not really as even as I'd like, but it's close. And then I just put the pattern paper down, put the frame around it. This is a piece of silver glitter washi tape, and this is a die from MFT. I think it's called the Poinsettia. And then, as you can see, I used Nuvo drops, but did not do a very good job of doing them. There's like a clump in the middle. And then I just kind of tried to put these, I kind of mess it up. Just kind of tried to push these up to make it a little bit of 3D. I did not do the inside of cards. This was the first card that I did. Wasn't totally in love with it. The second one is so simplistic, and this is exactly what the sketch looked like. The literal interpretation of the sketch. And you can see I didn't do an oval in the middle, so this kind of took the place of the oval. You can interpret sketches a bunch of different ways. You can do a very literal one, or you can do one that's similar, or you can turn it to the side. You could do this. Sketches are just supposed to give you a jumping off point, and you can do, like I said, very literal, or kind of take your own interpretation of it. So this was mine. This is a Sunny Studio stamp set. It has Santa with the reindeer, there are trees, and then there are also some stars. Not really crazy about the way it came out, but I tried to make it coordinate with this, and then I opened it up and used a honeybee stamp set, wishing you a very happy Christmas. And clearly I was on some type of Christmas kick, so you'll see the rest of the stuff that I did. Some of it was Christmassy. So I don't know what made me get on a Christmas kick, but I was. Okay, so then that was Saturday's classes, Sunday's class. The first one was mass production. So you had to do a card that could be pretty much easily mass produced. So you had to have a similar theme running through however many you could do. So there was a challenge to see how many you could make. I was able to make 4, and I was super impressed with myself because I did stenciling, die cutting, stamping, Copic coloring, brother scan and cutting stuff out. So in an hour. Again, we had an hour to make these cards. We had an hour to make the first 2, an hour each, and then we had an hour to make these. So let me show you what I did. I had gone to my sister and brother and sister-in-law's house on Saturday, and her mom works at a local hospital, and my sister-in-law's a teacher, and her kids for school were making cards for the healthcare workers. So I thought, why not mass produce cards for the healthcare workers? And clearly you can see I kind of did this one on the side, like the big dots are on the side instead of on the top like this one. But in an hour, 4 cards, doing all of that was pretty good. So the thank you circle is from MFT. It's an MFT die. I used black cardstock, cut that out. The city line is the cityscape die from Mama Elephant. Ran that through the Cuttlebug at pretty much the same time. The background stencil is Kindred Stamps, and this is their comic strip stencil, and I used 4 different colors of Distress Oxide, 2 red and 2 blue on each one, and they were pretty similar colors. The images, the cat and the dog images, all 4 of them are different, and they come from the Super Dog and the Super Cat MFT stamp set. And then this is 110-pound cardstock, and then just regular white cardstock from Michael's, like the 65-pound, 80-pound, whatever, the light one. So that was the mass production. The next class was, I seemed to do like a good class, bad, like I did well in a class, and then I did bad in a class, and then did well in a class, and did bad in a class. So the second class of the day was you could purchase the stamps that they were going to color. It was a digi. I don't do those, so, and I wasn't really in love with it because I don't really love floral images, and it was a fairy, which was fine. But basically you just got the techniques down. So I found 2 stamps of mine that were similar-ish, and I stamped them out and I started to color. Colored the skin, that was the first thing we did. That was fine. Colored the hair, it was all right. Then we got to the mess of a dress. And this is what mine looked like. Horrible. I hate the way the dress came out. I don't know what I was doing. That's not the way I normally color. I just wasn't happy with it. So I decided what I was going to do was completely scrap it and find another image, and I found a Christmas dog image. I can't find the stamp sets around here. They were wooden block ones. All 3 of these were. And this is what I colored. I love this guy. I am so thrilled with the way he came out. I love him so much. I only used 3 colors of brown, and when we were talking about using brown, because they did their hair in brown on the image they did, and I only have, Courtney was saying you have to stay within like the same first digit of the browns because that's the way they blend the best, and I only had one that I had 3 of, so I think it was the 70s, so I used the 70s. I love the way the hat came out. I used the red that she used, just super loving it. Put a little bit of gray so that looks white, because you can tell the difference between these, the white of the paper and the white on the hat. Just totally loved it. So there's that one. So that was the Copic class. We weren't making a card. And then I'm going to show you the Fun Fold class that we did. We made this. And this should have actually, the image should have gone in here, but I didn't know how it was going to turn out. So you slide the belly band off. Ready? And it opens up like this. And it is a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock, which is so amazing. So I wrote down the measurements of stuff I need so that I can recreate this, because I wasn't listening, and you should have done like double-sided pattern paper for these corners here. I did not. And the more you fold this, the easier it is to fold and easier it is to go back together. So the image like should have been matted on here. So you can do that. So had so much fun doing this. I was a little frustrated at one point because I couldn't get the folds right, but it's because I wasn't paying attention right. So there was that. That was everything that I did. And then before I go, real quick, I want to show you the cards that I worked on for the girls. I know if you watched my other video, you saw the coloring of the bunnies, but now I colored the signs. I'm not crazy about this one. I could have got a better blend on it, but I don't think the pencils went too well together. And there's a little, I don't know if you can see on it, I put some Spectrum Noir shine over top of it, but I don't know, the sparkle pen. But I don't know if you can really see it. So that's it. That's everything that I made. I got a little bit of my crafty mojo back. I was a little bit, I don't know, I had a hard time getting back into my craft room, but I'm super excited now. I have a lot of stuff to create. I have a lot of new products to use between the honeybee haul that you guys probably just saw and then the Colorado Craft Company haul. I have a lot of new product to work with. If you want to see any of these in a future video, leave the information down below and I will work on a project for you. Thank you guys so much for watching and commenting. I love interacting with you guys. I love the comments. Thank you to all of my new subscribers. I am super excited to have you. There are going to be some hops coming up. I have a celebration hop coming up in the middle of the month. We're working on an Instagram hop, and I'm also working on I think there's another hop that we're doing. So lots of great stuff coming your way. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye!